Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Yatondvayad Itaratas Charteshva Vignyasvarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayaha Tejovari Mridam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Misha Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. English translation. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, O Son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire, or land seen on water. Only because of him do the modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So I'll just take you through my drawing now, which is full of points from the purport. Vyasadeva compiled all the Vedic literatures, but he did not feel satisfied. Narada Muni instructed him, hey, you need to write about Krishna's activities specifically, and then you will feel satisfied. So he did that, and sure enough, he felt satisfied. And we are learning from Srila Prabhupada about the importance from going step by step through the cantos, starting from the first and going all the way up, one at a time. Sometimes people are attracted to go to the 10th canto to read about Krishna's transcendental activities, which are there. But it's advised to go step by step. And Srila Vyasadeva, he has written all the answers to all the inquiries that human beings might have in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's really the answer to all our questions. Because human beings, they ask deep philosophical questions. They ask like, why are we here? What are we doing? What's the purpose of our life? Who am I really? And the animals, they don't ask those kinds of questions. They're quite happy just to eat, sleep, mate, and defend. And just like the scientists can control a satellite that they put up into space, so the Supreme Lord is controlling all the universes and all the planets and stars. But the atheists would never agree that there is someone higher than them. So the Mayavadi impersonalists, they sometimes do many austerities. They perform many austerities because they want to become Abhigya and Swarat. These are two words from the verse, meaning fully cognizant and fully independent. So they try, but ultimately they cannot become independent. They become dependent on a rich disciple, and then they can build the monasteries and temples that they would like to build. And then Hiranyakashipu and Ravana also performed huge austerities so that they could also become independent, but ultimately they were rendered helpless by the Supreme Lord when he came to him as cruel death. So nobody can become independent. From Brahma down to the ant, no one. Brahma is also relying on Krishna to perform his service of creating. And and there's another beautiful analogy about how the person who's directing a complicated construction may not be at the construction site, but they still know everything that's going on because it's under their direction. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the engineer of this cosmic creation, he knows everything that's going on here. Even though all the activities are being carried out by the demigods, he's not personally present, but he knows everything that's going on. And this material world is an illusion, and it's temporary. And it's like a mirage in the desert. We think there's some water, or in other words, we think there's some happiness, but actually there isn't. You go closer towards the happiness, and the happiness kind of keeps moving out of your reach. So it's actually an illusion that there's any happiness in this material world. Reality is in the spiritual world. Absolute truth is in the spiritual sky. And this material world seems real, but it's just a shadow. And the Supreme Lord is so amazing that he can produce human bodies, and those human bodies can produce other human bodies. The scientist cannot invent something that produces on its own without any further attention from the scientist. And the three modes of material nature, like this point, it says that the three modes of material nature are created to illusion the bewildered mind of the conditioned soul. Because unless we are surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that we will be bewildered. So if without surrendering, we will be bewildered. And then the three modes of material nature are there to bewilder the mind. And yes, so the internal potency is real, and the external manifested energy is temporary and illusory, just like the mirage in the desert. And Srimad Bhagavatam is very authoritative. In some of the oldest Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. Some Mayavadi philosophers, they say that it's just modern thing. This Srimad Bhagavatam is a modern thing, and somebody called Vopadev wrote it. But no, it's not. It's Srila Vyasadeva wrote it. It's even mentioned in the oldest Puranas. And also Maharaj Ambarish was advised by Gautama to regularly read Srimad Bhagavatam if he desired liberation from material bondage. So there's so much reference in other Puranas, the oldest Puranas, about Srimad Bhagavatam and about Sri Vyasadeva. So we can understand that this understanding that it's written by a modern person called Vopadev is incorrect. And there's another analogy about the Lord being compared to a mine of gold, and the different forms of creations are all compared to objects made from the gold. So us living entities are like the objects made from the gold in the gold mine, just like there's necklaces and rings and things made from the gold mine. The gold ornaments are the same in quality as the gold in the mine, but they're different in quantity. So that we're the same in quality as Krishna. We're just very small sparks. We're not the same in quantity. Prabhupada says in the purport that anyone who makes a gift of this great work of Srimad Bhagavatam on a full moon day attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. That's so amazing. Let's read it again. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work of Srimad Bhagavatam on a full moon day attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. How powerful and special is this Srimad Bhagavatam? So when's the next full moon? We can always remember on a full moon day, if we have the opportunity to distribute Bhagavatam, that's the day to do it. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to creating another drawing and another little video on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 2. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai! Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai!